All right, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from the Other Half Brewing Company, and they're headquartered in Brooklyn, New York, and this is their double dry hopped Mylar Bags. So they're calling this one Imperial IPA that comes in at 8.5% alcohol by volume. No IBUs. Listen, time of review. This can is approximately 2 months old. So I recently reviewed Mylar Dust, and it was delicious. It was basically this beer, which is, let's go through the hops, see if I remember. Amarillo, Galaxy, Citra, Mosaic, and El Dorado, and then they double dry hop it with Citra and Mosaic, Lupulin powder, and then even more Galaxy. So Mylar Dust was, I don't know if it was the double dry hop version, it just could be the base Mylar bags, but they replace, I believe, it was the Amarillo, Citra, and Mosaic pellets with cryo. And it was delicious. It was like a really super dank, fruity beast of a beer. Really enjoyed it. I think I gave it like a 4.4 or 4.5. So this is the double dry hop version of Mylar Bags. And I've only had double dry hop Mylar Daydream, which I believe is this beer with a little bit of lactose and oats. And it was delicious, but not as good as the Mylar Dust. But Mylar Dust was fantastic. So this one was brewed at the FLX location with the blue tab. I'm hoping this is delicious, though, and I think it will be. 2 months old, we should be fine. I kept cold the entire time. When I picked this up, I think it was like a week old, but the channel went on hiatus, so it happens. I would have loved to see this like a week old. Probably would have been too green, like a lot of beers nowadays. A lot of hop forward beers are too green a week or two old. Anyway, yeah, it has that other half look to it. Honey orange looks almost milky, super turbid and murky. Has about 1.5 fingers, almost 2 fingers of this off-white cream-colored head. Looks super, super creamy. Yeah, it has this off-white, but almost into cream. Looks beautiful. Probably on camera it's going to look more bright white, but yeah, anyway. Yeah, so very similar to that Mylar Dust. It has just like this, oh my God. There's a huge dank green type of quality, but not green as in like this beer is too green, there's too much hop matter. Not anything like that. Just kind of like, like a green kind of hop matter that isn't like burning my nostrils. That's when beers are too green or too fresh and you need to let them sit. A lot of the double dry hop beers, you can tell that doesn't have that kind of hop burn kind of nose. It just has like a fresh hop kind of nose. But there's a lot of like, there's nondescript red berry. There's sweeter like passion fruit and pineapple, even like a tart passion fruit, peach, mango, a lot of stone fruits, sweet orange. But it has that green, dank kind of just very similar to the Mylar Dust. I don't know how else to explain it. It's dank, it's fruity, it's somewhat juicy, it's sweet, it's slightly candied. Fucking, I just want to, this should be, oh, they should make this into like a candle, like a scented candle. It's so fucking awesome. Yeah, the nose is even better than Mylar Dust. It's like that, but like more concentrated. Anyway, let's get into it. Cheers, everybody. Body and mouthfeel spectacular. Even though this isn't a daydream beer, body and mouthfeel spectacular. Here's what I'll say. The nose is phenomenal. The taste, really good. Really tasty. Nothing compares to the nose. That nose is like 5 out of 5. This is not in that level. I love the lacing. I think the lacing on the Mylar Dust was very similar. So I think about, again, I should have watched the Mylar Dust review before I reviewed this one. But I think I said like, the nose was more like candied fruit, sweeter fruit, and then the taste, it kind of like is more of just like the whole fruit itself, not as sweet, more like zesty, rindy, bitter. And that's kind of what's happening here. So body and mouthfeel, we'll explain it. Body's higher side of medium body. I do know Mylar Dust was a little bit thicker because that was like the first thing I mentioned. I was like, wow, this has an oomph to it. This definitely is appropriate for 8.5%, but I mean, Mylar Dust was a little bit more, had a little bit more body to it. The mouthfeel, though, I think the mouthfeel on this is better than the Mylar Dust. It's really soft and smooth and creamy, almost like it is a daydream beer, but not quite to that level, but very close without, the lactose and the shit ton of oats. I'm sure there's a lot of oats and like flaked wheat and whatnot in here, but probably not to the level of a daydream. So body, I think they nailed it, spot on, but not that big, not that thick like Mylar Dust. Mouthfeel, phenomenal, spectacular. The taste. The nose was definitely better. I do enjoy the taste, but it's not as good as the nose was. So I'm getting more zesty, kind of pithy, I'm going to say citrus. There's grapefruit, there's orange, tangerine right at the front of the tongue. As it passes through, there's drips and drabs of that candied, sweet, juicy pineapple and peach, a little bit of like a nondescript red berry. But that's very, very minor when you take into consideration what I was saying about the actual nose. So, and I'm thinking, and the reason why I'm kind of slowly stumbling over my words is like I'm trying to remember what I said exactly in the nose, but it's just like the nose was so concentrated with a juicy, sweet candy type of hop profile that in the taste that's not what it is. It's still good. It's just not as good as the nose. This one does have a nice moderate bitterness on the finish. It's semi-dry. So I think this one could use maybe a little bit more sweetness, which is crazy to say. A lot of other half beers are sweet, but I think I want a little bit more sweetness in the taste because the nose indicated that it would be sweeter. I think it needs to balance it out because I think this is actually leaning a little bit dry and bitter as opposed to leaning maybe a little bit more sweet. I'm somebody who likes a balance of the two. If I had to pick one, I'd rather it lean a little bit more sweet than bitter. But the back of the palate too has, it's not as dank. It has more of this like spicy, earthy herbaceousness, and it's really cool. But this is definitely a different beer than Mylar Dust, and it should be because, you know, they're not using exactly the same. And it's noticeable, which is cool. I really enjoy this one, though. This is really good. Is it as good as Mylar Dust? No, it's not. Is it as good as Double Dry Hop Mylar Daydream? I don't remember what I gave that one, but I'd say this is in the realm probably of what I probably gave that like somewhere around 4.25, and that's pretty much where I'm going to go with this one. I think Mylar Dust, I think I gave a 4.4 or 4.5, and that is on another level than this one, in my opinion. This is still really good, don't get me wrong, but after having that and coming back to this, not as good. So Double Dry Hop Mylar Bags from Other Half. Still going to get a really good score because it is enjoyable. I'm going to give that a low 4.25 and go 4.2. I think it's really solid, really tasty. I dig it. It's just, after having the Mylar Dust, it's a bit of a letdown. Two things, actually. The fact that I had Mylar Dust first, and then on top of that, the nose in here set me up for disappointment. I've talked about, recently about like beers that have Phantasm in it, which this doesn't, which is a thiol that kind of gives you like a big oomph in the aroma of like a tropical fruit kind of character. So many times I drink those beers and the nose is amazing. I go to the taste and it's just like, man, I wish they wouldn't have done that. And I kind of feel like this has the same problem without Phantasm. Price and availability, I believe these are $20 a 4-pack. That's fine. That's kind of the going rate nowadays. Wish it wasn't, but here we are. And the availability, this is one of their staples. Like Mylar Bags has been released, I don't know, probably double-digit amount of times at this point. So you can get Mylar Bags. You can get the Double Dry Hop version, Mylar Dust, Mylar Daydream, Double Dry Hop, Mylar Daydream. I've had now 3 beers within the Mylar or /Mylar Bag series. I've had this, I've had Mylar Dust, I've had Double Dry Hop Mylar Daydream. I'd like to try more. I think there's another like half dozen. But if you really want to get your hands on this, you can. Other Half has great distro at this point. I think it's like 15 different states they deliver to. Go to their website. And yeah, just a really good beer, but kind of a letdown based on Mylar Dust and based on the nose. So anyway, appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here in the Beer Patrol. If you've had this one before, let me know what you think about it. 8.5%. It does hide the alcohol well. There's no warming in the chest, nothing really on the palate. So I will say kudos to them for the hiding ABV, 8.5%, and you really can't taste it. I know it's bigger because of the body and the mouthfeel, like I always say, but I just love when I get a beer like this. There's no astringency. It's dangerous. Very dangerous beer. Anyway, appreciate everybody stopping by. To the next one. Cheers.